Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's My Weekly Rage Fix. This week's Parsha is Parshas Vayishlach, and we read about the sad story about Jacob's daughter Dinah, who had gone out amongst the women to see the women of the city of Shechem, and there one of the princes of the city had seen her, he laid eyes upon her, and he kidnapped her, he violated her, and he fell in love with her, he wanted to marry her. So the prince, whose name was Shechem, went to Yaakov and Yaakov's sons, and he told them, "I love your daughter." And actually, his father Chamar had gone, and the brothers Shimon and Levy took action, and they came up with this devious plot. And they basically said to them, "Listen, you guys aren't Jewish. We can't allow our sister to marry your son. What you should do is you should have your son and everybody in the town, they should all circumcise themselves. They should all be more like us. And like that, if you do that, then we'll acquiesce to them getting married." And Shimon and Levi, on the third day that this happened, went out and they basically annihilated everybody in that city. And the third day of after a person gets a circumcision, they're the most weakest, and therefore the men of that town were not able to defend themselves. And they went and they killed out every single male of that town, including Shechem and Chamar, the violator and the violator's father. The reasons why they did that are many. Maimonides has an explanation as to why. Is because they all violated one of the Noahide laws that nobody's allowed to be kidnapped, and for kidnapping one is obligated, one is liable for the death penalty. Nachmanides gives another reason that really that was the entire way of the land. This is just an isolated story, but be that as it may, after they had done this, Yaakov, their father, comes to them and he castigates them and he speaks strongly against them to rebuke them for what they did. And eventually the brothers said back, should we allow them to make our sister into a harlot? So the question is, and I want to focus on the last thing, is really the back and forth. Jacob comes and he gives them rebuke for what they did. He felt it was too much. It was too strong of a reaction. And the brothers said, nothing doing. They can't do something like this to our sister and get away with it. So what do we learn there? What exactly was the give and take? So I believe that Yaakov is teaching his children, his sons, that sometimes there's a time to react and sometimes there's a time not to react. However, Yaakov was really questioning their motives, and his sharp rebuke was going to allow him to hear from them deep down as to why they attacked. Some people will just attack because it's a wildish, boorish attack, a bloodthirsty attack, and it's not based upon any principle at all. And Yaakov was able to squeeze out of them their answer, and they answered in an outcry. They should make our sister the harlot of the town, meaning this is a town that lives by no morals and no standards. And if we let this go by, our sister's life, everywhere she walked, wherever she continued to go, she would be that symbol of somebody who can easily be violated and get away with it. And somebody like that cannot be from the home of Jacob. The home of Jacob cannot have and stand by that somebody should get violated and no reaction should be taken care of. And that's living for a purpose. It's living for an ideal. And that's the difference between somebody who just reacts because that's the reaction they chose because that's just who they are, or as opposed to a calculated reaction. At the end of the day, Yaakov still maybe didn't necessarily like the response, but we don't see that Yaakov responded. So we can understand that was their discussion, and Yaakov was just simply trying to squeeze out of them the real intentions for attacking Shechem, Chamar, and the entire city. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Talk to you soon.